Hey, what's up, podcast world? My name is Brent Mukai. This is the Brent Mukai podcast, episode 4. I made it to 4 episodes. That makes exactly 1 month of recording. I think my mic's on a little too hot here. That makes 4 months of recording. 4 months of me doing something and saying that I'm going to do it, and then doing it. So, here I am. A couple interesting things happened. Some actually really interesting things happened. First and foremost, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. This is my podcast where I just talk about what's going on in my life. I am a voice actor, improv trainer, entertainer. What that means is I do the voices of several commercials. I also teach how to voice act, and I also do improv training and corporate training, which I guess is sort of where I want to start off here, where I want to go. So I started last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. Got a notice for a gig through an improv thing that I'm a part of here in town called Comedy Sports. For those of you who don't know what Comedy Sports is, it's a franchise of improv. So these things pop up everywhere in the Midwest. There's one in LA, there's one in Buffalo, there's one. It's all across the nation. It's a franchise of improv. It's probably the closest thing to Whose Line Is It Anyway as you get, except instead of 4 guys that just stand up and do the things and the points don't matter, it's called Comedy Sports because they treat it like a sporting event, and a guy comes out in like a ref jersey and he's the host, or Drew Carey of the show, or I guess Alicia Tyler of the show, and these two teams battle it out. That's not the point I'm trying to make, though. The point I'm trying to make is that through them, I got a cool sort of gig, through a few other people's recommendations, too, actually, but they originally hit me up and asked me if I wanted to do this corporate gig. I said yes, because I have done corporate training, and that is half of my job right now, and they didn't tell me really what was going to be happening. I thought that I was going to go in and do the regular, which I go in, I teach improv games and some exercises, whatever. We all have a good time. Now you're a better listener, blah, blah, blah. But that wasn't it. It turned out to be a role-playing gig. So it was fun. First and foremost, I want to say that. The company's from out of town, and they admitted that this was the biggest undertaking of a role play that they've ever done, because it was with 54 actors, 54 role-playing actors, a lot of them not necessarily improv actors. From what I gathered, a lot of them maybe not even actors. Very interesting. It's very. I mean, how much can I bounce around it? It wasn't like a shit show. It wasn't. But here's the thing: like, you have 54 people that you have never met, and you have to put them together and make a ragtag team to look professional in front of. It was a rather large company. I'm not going to name it, but it was a big company for this thing, and like, there's no way that you can have quality across that board. Now, do I disagree with what they did? No. In fact, more power to them. I understand that's the grind. You know what I mean? A company, huge company, says, hey, we need 54 actors. You say, sure, when and where. And that just about settles it. And the fact that they pulled it off and got people to show up and all of the, is nothing short of great. We had to go through a rehearsal and this whole process, which was fun. It was weird going through the rehearsal because it just kind of felt like there were the people that I knew in the room. I went with a couple of friends of mine, and we got it right away because we've done this type of work before. We've done corporate work where we actually talk to people and say, hey, your body language this, communication that, tone of voice, blah, 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 whatever. There's all forms of communication, different forms of empathy, different forms of listening. Cool. I think a lot of people that also got the job did not have that background. So it was very difficult and cringy to watch, because we were role playing in this room and in this scenario with these like middle management leaders, right? And it was just, I mean, I'll leave it at this. One woman just kept not understanding anything. Like, we literally, throughout 1 hour of us going through this, she asked pretty much the same question, which was, there were different roles on the card, and she was like, so what role am I? And we were like, so the woman who was in charge was obviously, you know, she was very kind. She was extremely kind as you could be in high stress situation with all of this shit going on, and you need to get results, right? So she was very kind, and she said, it's written right there on the card. Right here, you see that? That's where it is. Cool. Okay. Then we go on, and the same woman asks again, wait, hold on. So now I'm what? And we were like, it got to a point where she asked like 5 or 6 times, and then the actors in the room started being like, it's written on the card. Like, it's written on the card. And it wasn't enough, right? Like, and here's my thing, like, I get it. I have empathy for this woman. She didn't know what she was walking into. I don't think that she has done any type of corporate work. I don't think she's done any type of improv work. She was like a role player from another scenario. So this was all uncomfortable to her. I get it. I get that. But don't let that get in the way of just listening. Like, we're literally sitting here trying to learn how to give direction on how to listen, and you can't even listen to the instructions, nor can you read, apparently, to communicate. Like, how are you about to step into a room full of professionals and teach them how to communicate when you can't read? Right? And it was a little frustrating. It was a bit frustrating, to say the least. It was, but I get it. I 100% and I'm an asshole for pointing this out. Let me say that too. Like, for me to even say this, I'm an asshole, because I got it right away. Bam, I'm sitting there just like, whoa, what do we need this time for? We needed it for these other people who didn't quite get it. Cool. All right, fine. We got there on the day. So this was yesterday. Yesterday, we got, and it was 54 people. I knew probably about half of them. And those people that I knew were really cool. They were, you know, actors in town, other performers. Shout out to Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, that podcast. If you are listening to me somehow and are not listening to them, because I think there's a lot of cross-pollination of people who listen to them who are now listening to this. Scoops, I thank you. But if you have never heard of Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, please check out their podcast. They are two of the funniest guys that I know. And they both were there. Matt Donnelly, Paul Mattingly. I'm dropping names. I'm a name dropper now. God damn it. I didn't want to drop names, but I'm a name dropper. These two guys are great. I'm not dropping the names for my sake. I'm dropping the names so that you can look these guys up, see their improv or their podcast, and be like, wow, these guys are fucking amazing. And that's coming from a guy who fucking teaches improv professionally. Like, these guys are like on another level. But yeah, they both were there, and we were fucking around having a good time. Some of my other buddies were there, and we were just joking around about the whole thing, because we had to sit down and to practice, obviously, role playing. You have to, one person is practicing being the role player, and then another person is role playing the person that's going to be getting role play, right? And then all the while, this woman is sitting here judging and critiquing both of the participants, even though one of the people is not the role player and they're playing the role for the role player. It all got very, very meta very, very quickly. I kind of want to write a sketch where there's like where it's like a role-playing sketch, and it's like one person is the role player and the other person is filling in as role-playing as the other person role-playing, and then the woman starts giving critique and feedback about the role play, and then somebody comes in behind her and she's only role playing being a teacher of somebody teaching these two people how to role play, and and so the person comes in and starts giving her critique, and then that person comes in, another person comes in and starts giving that person role play, and then like this is the stupidest thing I've ever thought of, and then they walk out together, and there's like a circle of men, like with in robes, and they're about to sacrifice a goat, and and it turns out like the whole thing is like a clever ruse, and it's just like one big weird sexual role play, and that everybody's in like this like they take off their clothes and they're then BDSM thing, and like everybody just mass orgasms at once. And that's the role play. I think that's fucking funny. If you don't think that's funny, then fuck you. Like that's funny to me. Like the punchline is that they're role playing sexually. This idea of this role, like it just keeps building. I haven't figured out how the build keeps happening, but it just turns into like role play Inception, is how I would pitch that. So yeah, it was an interesting gig. It didn't last very long. It was not, but I remember thinking at one point, right before we were about to go in, people started asking questions that were really covered really well in the practice, in front of like all the clients and everybody. And I remember thinking, man, if I was in charge of this many people and these people were asking the same fucking stupid questions that were already answered 9,000 times, I would be shitting my fucking pants right now. Just like watching and thinking about the mess that's about to occur. Because there wasn't a mess. You know what I mean? There was not a mess. Like, nobody got up and pooped their pants and ran out of the room crying. Like, which is a victory for me. Like, that's not... You have no idea how many times I go into a place and I just run out of the room crying, pooping my pants. It happens constantly. Anytime I don't, I call it a win. Anyways, it went off well. I think, with 54 people, it's one of those things where the weaker people kind of slide by. They kind of slide by. It's like the Del Taco of corporate training. I don't know why Del Taco was the first place I thought of, but I feel like I've definitely had employees that were wonderful at Del Taco, and I've definitely had employees that slide by and they just kind of, it just works that way. And that's how it worked. I can guarantee of 54 people, of 54 actors, we'll call it 50 because a few people didn't show up, of 50 actors, I feel like I can guarantee that 25 of those actors, at least half of those people, 50% of those people, and the people that they had in their groups did not get shit from yesterday. Like, they just got no value at all. But they still got paid. That's fine. Everybody made money. Everybody's happy. The people at the big company corporation can say, "We did this, cool," and hopefully that leads to more work. That's cool. I'm just giving my retelling because it was frustrating as it was happening, because I mean really okay I'll call myself out on this. It was frustrating because I am cocky. Like it's at the point where I've done a lot of these, so like having to sit through it's like being in an AP honors class, right? But then being sent to like a class of just the regular, science class or whatever. And it's like, well, come on, like I want to explore different things, but some people are, no child left behind type of deal, and it just, so yeah. I'm fully willing to admit that in my frustration, there's also an element of assholishness to what I'm saying, because I have to have empathy for the fact that there were 54 fucking people that they managed to fucking do it. Congrats to them. I enjoyed the gig. I'd work for them again in a heartbeat. They paid well. It was really cool. Let me move on to the next thing. You might recognize that I'm talking a little different. You may or may not. If you are a audiophile in any capacity and can hear very distinct things, you might have picked up on it. I'm talking with a slight lisp today. It's because my wisdom teeth are fucking killing me. I found out that my bottom wisdom teeth are kind of impacted, which for those of you who don't know mean that it's growing into the side of my jaw, and now it's starting to unavoidably cause pain. Like it's to the point where I cannot function without pain in my mouth now. There's just pain there, and I put it off. I put it off for way too fucking long, and I'm upset about it, and now I'm in pain, and now I'm paying for it. But I'll tell you what, I learned something from the whole experience, which is that I need to be more aware of shit like this. I need to be more aware of, because a few days ago there was pain, all that stuff. Finally, I just said fuck it and had to go, put it in parentheses, go adult or whatever. I don't like that term, but that's what I did, and I had to go call my insurance and figure out where I could go, and I finally found a dentist for myself. Perfect, fine, cool, okay. So I did it. I think I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed next week, though I'm not sure, because they said we're scheduling you for another appointment. After they had cleaned it out to really help me out, I was in so much fucking pain. Like, I teared. Like, I'm a grown man. And I cried. Like, I didn't cry. I was like, my teeth hurt. I wasn't. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they're just cleaning out my tooth and I'm just like sobbing uncontrollably, like, please stop, mister. Oh no. That would be the worst. Like, what do you even do? Can you even continue? If you saw a grown man sobbing, but no, it was bad. It was really fucking bad. It was so bad that I was tearing up my hands, dude. Like, I could have crushed a fucking, like, I could have turned 2 tennis balls into powder with how aggressively I was clutching the fucking dentist chair. Dude, I did not have control, and I was just like, oh, like screaming. It was bad. It was really fucking bad. And now I hear that the surgery to get the 2 teeth, the wisdom teeth out, is going to also be bad. So I'm not excited about that either. Hopefully, I'll be drugged a lot for that. I'm hoping. I'm like, I've never got it removed. Please hit me up if you know something I don't. But I'm hoping that I can just go under drugs and just like they call it a surgery. So I'm assuming there's drugs, right? There's got to be fucking drugs. Not looking forward to having my cheeks all puffy and looking like an asshole for for however long, like a week or whatever it takes, eating mashed potatoes and ice cream only. But that's, I guess, what I'm gonna fucking do, because I gotta get it fixed. The worst part, the shittiest part for me, is that my sister told me that I need to get my fucking wisdom teeth pulled. Like, she's been telling it to me for years. Most recently, my sister's a dentist in Hawaii, and she offered, when I was back home in 2016, late 2016, to take out my wisdom teeth, or at least send me to somebody who could, and I refused, and now I fucking am paying the price. But here's the thing, like, I'm not here's where I sound like a real asshole. I'm not mad at myself for not taking her advice. I am mad at my sister because, hold on, before you get mad, I'm mad at my sister because she's a fucking huge worrywart. Like, she's worried about every fucking thing in the entire world. Like she seriously, I remember I was back home, and I I was going to a Chili's, and I guess adjacent to that same Chili's, not even in the same parking lot, a parking lot over. So it's the same complex, but like, you know how they separate the a parking lot over, there was a sushi restaurant that got closed down for hepatitis C? Not hepatitis C, what was it? I think it was for... was it hepatitis? I'm looking it up now. Hold on. Let's see. Hawaii hepatitis. Yep, it looks like it's coming up in... Yep, it was through some scallops at a sushi restaurant in a parking lot adjacent place. Had a hepatitis A outbreak, and my sister said, "Are you going to that Chili's? Really? Last week at the place that's not even that Chili's, they closed down a place for having hepatitis A." And I was like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with me going to celebrate my friend's birthday at Chili's? Have a nice 2 for $20 with some old high school pals of mine? What does that have to fucking do at all with me going to Chili's and having a nice chocolate molten cake? Everybody, I'm a spokesman for Chili's, just so you know. This is my Chili's break, where I just tell you about all the deals going on at Chili's. You know what? I'm practicing for when I get sponsored by Chili's. I'm going to go ahead and look up Chili's specials right now. Specials August 2018. Oh my god. 2018. Let's do that. And hey, sorry, I'm looking at I got a text message about a gig, and I'm getting a phone call right now, but I'm gonna put that on pause, because it can wait. Okay, Chili's specials, new featured dinner specials. Let's see. Okay, fuck Chili's, you're making this hard. You're making this very, very hard. Okay, 3 for $10. Try a new Chili's 3 for $10. You know what? This will be a good advertisement. This will be like a good like commercial. I can like overlay music afterwards and actually just do it. So let me just I'm gonna improvise a Chili's commercial. Let's do it. Okay, let's see here. A 2 for $22, a dinner for 2. Okay. Shit, dude. Menu. Chili's menu. How come it won't let me see the fucking specials? I'm starting to get mad, Chili's. You gotta get your fucking... I'm telling you, you gotta get your good fucking specials on here, or else I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna give up in a second. Oh, Chili's specials. Specials.chili's. Here we go. Oh, I guess it's regional. That's why. So I have to fucking figure it out. Okay, cool. Select this Chili's. Now I can see the dinner 2 for $22s. Okay, let's see. Here's my commercial for Chili's. I don't even know what Chili's slogan is. I'll make it up. All right. Hey, do you have plans? So, this is already off to a bad start. Hey, you got any plans for dinner tonight? No, I don't actually. Do you have an idea of where you want to go? Yeah, well, I mean, I was thinking somewhere casual, somewhere nice, somewhere, with a nice atmosphere. Well, I mean, we could maybe go to a new place. Who wants to go to a new place? I want to go to some place where I know what I'm getting. Like some awesome blossom petals, or maybe some fresh guacamole or Texas cheese fries. Oh, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Chili's. Chili's? Chili's, did you say? Chili's where they have the awesome 2 for $22s where I can get a crispy chicken crisper or a grilled chicken salad. That's right, Chili's, where I can get my favorite, the half order of ribs or a Cajun chicken pasta. Why am I so inconsistent with the thought process that I have? I just said that I love the ribs. Why would I select something else? Why would I choose anything fucking else? Anyways... Come on down to Chili's, where we have it all. The 2 for $22s. Bring a date. Bring a friend. Maybe your date is your friend and they don't know it yet. Chili's 2 for $22, where you can get 1 appetizer and 2 entrees, with specials like salads for 2, chips and salsa, or fresh guacamole, and entrees like original chicken crispers, margarita grilled chicken, or classic sirloin. You know what? I'm thinking Chili's. Chili's, eat fresh. All right, there you go. That one's on old Brent, Chili's. That one's on me. You hear that, Chili's? That one's on old Brent. Sponsor me. Anyways, I didn't listen to my sister for all of the right reasons, because she fucking worries about all this shit, but then when she says something serious, like, this isn't the first time she's been right. It's just that there's like 100 times that she's worrying over nothing, and then when the one thing happens that she's right about, it pisses me the fuck off, because I'm like, why do you have to be wrong about so many other things and worried about shit that doesn't even matter? Because then when you tell me something I should actually really be worried about, I don't fucking listen to you. I don't, and it's not my fault, obviously. It's your fault, Tina. I just told you her name. Anyways, that's a whole... I hope she doesn't hear this. Like, if you're friends with her, don't share this to her. She's gonna get mad. I'm gonna get a call, and then she's gonna tell me that now her identity is gonna be stolen because I mentioned her name online. Like, that's how she is. That's how she is. And then she'll say something like, you better save up for tax season. I'm like, shut up. I know. And then I don't. And then I get fucked. And then I can blame her. I don't just blame her. I'm joking. It's a big part of it is just my own fault and my own asshole nature. And it's just like, I should have listened. But now I'm going to be in a lot of pain. And now she can laugh all she wants at my pain. Even though she won't, she'll be concerned because she's a good sister. And I guess I gotta say that after talking all that shit. So yeah, Wisdom Teeth coming out next week. Not excited, but I'm excited for this pain to go away because there is pain in my mouth. In the left half of my face, it is just pain. Yeah. Third thing I wanted to bring up this week is I just started doing online dating again. Like, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you call online dating. Like, I'm trying to do online dating again. Like, for a girl, if you're like, I'm doing online dating, I know what that means, I get it, perfect. You're doing online dating. For a guy, it's like, are you really doing online dating, or are you just trying to do online dating? I'm trying. And, has not looked great so far. I'm sending out messages, I'm doing my thing. Weirdly, now that I understand business more, like, because the last time I started online dating, it was probably a couple years ago, and then I started getting really busy and doing the business thing, and then I said, I don't want to, here's the thing, I got to this point where, like, I didn't want to have anything overshadow the business and the passion and the stuff, and I kept saying, a girl will fall into my life at some point because that's the way life works. As long as I'm working at what I'm trying to accomplish, it'll happen. I'm 29 now, and that, being a year away from 30 maybe has something to do with it. I know that the stigma is like, guys, you can take longer and all that stuff, but here's the thing that I started realizing is that when I was like 18, 19, like, I was pouring my entire life into going out on film shoots and doing improv shows and, like, all of this shit that I'm super, super grateful I did, because I wouldn't be as good as I am right now, as young as I am right now, without doing that and having all those experiences and pouring my entire being into that shit, right? But there's a part of me that regrets it. There's a part of me that says, had I really wanted to, could I have had a girlfriend or had like a relationship or even just dated more, right? I was very awkward growing up, and I was also very awkward until I reached about 21, 22, and improv kind of changed my life, made me more sociable. Also, a lot of good friends that I started hanging out with within my film crew. were older than me and were kind of guiding me to being a better person, and to building me into the person that I kind of am today. So I got molded a lot. Like, what you see now is 1,000,000% different from what fucking 18, 19-year-old Brent was like million years away. There were some girls I fooled around with that I had some little flings or little, flirty type shit, but I never ever committed because I kept thinking, oh, I might move to LA at some point. Like, and that will end everything. And I kept saying, well, and I also kept saying stuff like, it'll come, it'll all fall into place. I just got to focus on the work that I'm doing. And I look back, and I do this, I look on Facebook and I see some of the girls that, like, I dated or had, like, little weird flings with. Like 3 or 4 of them are lesbians now, which is... This is like an off the record, I guess, type of thing. 3 or 4 of them very attractive lesbians now. Not that they weren't attractive before, but they're like full on, like, oh, or maybe they were. I mean, I'm sure they were lesbians the whole time. They just didn't tell me. 3 or 4. I might be over exaggerating. I'm thinking 2. I think 2 for sure. 2 for sure. There might be a third. If I think no, yeah. Oh my God, 3. 3 of them are 3 of them have, like, girlfriends now, and it's funny. But that's beside the point. My point is that I kept spending all this time saying, I'll do it this, and now I'm looking back and seeing these things, and I'm like, oh my God, like that was back when I had hair, and, like, I was thinner, and I could have really fucking, really fucking had some fun, and I didn't. And I know that I'm 29 now, which is like fucking nothing. It's a baby, right? But I keep thinking, like, this is a thing that I keep saying and I keep doing, and maybe it's in my best interest to start thinking about it so that 10 years from now, if I'm still not with somebody, I won't be looking back saying, oh, I wish that in my 29 to 30s and, blah, 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 that I could have, because, oh, that was back when I had... that was back when I had more hair, because at that point I'm gonna shave it all off. Like, there's no, like, by 39, if I haven't shaved off my fucking hair, then I've quit. I've just quit life at that point. Like, you won't see me anymore if that's the case. But I will. I'm gonna start doing it soon. But you see my point. My point is that I'm. And this is something that has no easy answer, right? Like, am I supposed to do it? Am I supposed to focus on the new blossoming business that I'm doing? Is love something that can wait? Is being alone the reason why I'm doing all this stuff? Yes, it is. But is there a benefit to the other part of it? I don't know is the answer. And I don't like the fact that I don't know. So I think that I'm going to pursue this for a little bit. And I'm actually talking with a girl right now. She's responded, for one, but no, it was somebody that I actually messaged. It wasn't somebody that just messaged me. And I'm pretty picky. I'm somewhat selective when it comes to this type of shit. And I think that also hurts me. It's not that I know everything that I want. It's just that there are some very hard things that I don't want, and I sort of know that about myself and have that self-awareness. So there's just a lot. I like a lot of young girls. I just get like until you're maybe I don't know. It's hard for me to take somebody seriously until they're like 23, 24. Is that wrong? I don't know. That could be wrong. But to me, it's just a thing. Like, I'm in a different place. I'm not in the clubbing scene. I'm not in that shit. Like, I'm not just looking for girls that are compatible for me. I'm also looking for girls that I will be compatible for. Because if they're like, I go hiking every single weekend and blah blah, and that blah, trips to Zion and Burning Man, like, that's not my fucking life. I don't care how fucking hot you are. I'm not gonna put myself through that, because it's just that to me is just I'm not gonna go with you to Burning Man or Zion. Like, I'm here. I'm in my fucking booth and I'm doing my shit and I'm making my dreams come true. I like ambition. I like those types of, not just women but people. Like that's the shit that I enjoy, and the people that I really end up fucking, loving and appreciating and respecting the most, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm talking to a girl now. I don't know why I'm saying this. If I stop talking to her, or rather, if she stops talking to me, because that's kind of the way that would transpire, unless she says, like, I eat babies, then I might stop talking to her. I might stop talking to her if she eats babies. A good chance that I won't. I'll be like, what race are the babies? Who doesn't enjoy a good Chinese baby every once in a while? You know what I mean? You can just get it at Panda Express. It's called orange chicken. You'll never eat orange chicken again. They gotta do something with all those girl Chinese babies. What are they gonna do? Just throw them out somewhere? No, just send them to Panda Express. Make some orange chicken. That orange chicken, though, is so good that if you told me that they were made of Chinese girl babies, I don't know if I'd stop eating it. I don't know. I don't know if most of you would stop eating it. It's fucking delicious. Anyways, I'm in a weird position. I'm in a transitional period in my life. I keep saying that. I'm glad I have this on tape, though. Like, this is cool. Like, one day on tape. I'm glad I have this on podcast. One day I'll look back at this and I think I'll be laughing, hopefully, or cringing. Probably mostly cringing at the stupid shit that I'm saying now. Like, if I had done this at 18, 19, I would be looking back and cringing like crazy. So, I don't know. Here's to being smarter and better in the future. But I can only achieve that if I make the right decisions now. Or at least attempt to make the right decisions. So that's why I'm doing the online dating thing. Hopefully I'll be able to meet this girl. I think I'm better in person than I am on a fucking text or over a phone. Here's a good one. If you have advice for online dating, please send it to me, because I would love some. At Brent Mukai, BrentMukai. If you're enjoying the show, please let me know. I fucking love hearing from people that they're listening and that this is actually being listened to. That is the most rewarding part of it and what keeps me going. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I don't know if people are fucking even listening to this. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening. I super appreciate it. Anything else that I need? Nah, nothing else that I need to say or do. Just, I'm planning on having some guests on soon. So I think that'll be an added fun thing. Let me know also if you don't want to weigh in on the online dating tips thing. Let me know if you would like this to be like a bi-weekly thing where I come out with 2 episodes every single week. Because I want to do that, and I think that that's the benefit of me just doing this alone, is I can put out. I mean, shit, I could put out like 4 of these a week, but I don't know that people would be fucking interested. My theory, my weird theory is that I feel like sometimes I get overwhelmed when a podcast comes out with too many episodes at a time, and so then I feel like I'm not caught up, and it's tough for me to catch up again, and all that stuff. I mean, I'm keeping these to about 30 minutes or so I don't know the answer. But tell me if you'd like this 2 or 3 or however many times a week. Let me know. I don't know. I'm not an avid podcast listener. I listen mostly just in my car, and I don't have long commutes. So the podcasts I do listen to, I choose very carefully. Once again, a plug: Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social. Please go check them out. So yeah, I'd like to know your opinion. You obviously listen to podcasts. If you're listening to this, you're a podcast listener, so I'd love your feedback on it. Please let me know all of the shit that you say, all of the things that you reply to me with. Thank you so much to everybody for listening. Even just my friends that have been telling me that you've been listening has been really cool. Nikki, Thomas, Scott, like you guys are really cool. I'd love to hear from more of you and see if maybe there's some way I could improve this podcast. Yeah, I ultimately just want to make this. I don't know what it is yet, but I want to make it as good as it can be. So please let me know. With that being said, thank you so much for listening again. My name is Brent Mukai. This is my podcast. I'll catch you next time.